Okay. Yeah, I have a short update. SARA section tour, and we're going to do two things. I've given you the a short PowerPoint. I'm not going to spend too much time on that, at least in the beginning. But I would like to just jump right into the sections. And talk about those. This is primarily for new people to SARA who may not be familiar with the website, and maybe this is their first exposure. So there's something I do every year just to give a brief update on that and what might be new in the section. So I'm just going to jump in here, and then I'll just look at the PowerPoint later to see if I missed anything. So when you go to the SARA website, you'll see a ribbon on top. And it's here where we have the sections. And the idea behind this was to make it like make SARA like some other astronomy groups or professional groups that have the different subject topics of interest. So whatever you may be interested in radio astronomy, you can go directly to it and find the information. One of the earliest feedbacks on the section was that we should have a beginner's page. So you'll see the 6 sections, and then on top is an introduction. And that introduction has a beginner's tab, which provides an introduction to radio astronomy. Let's see what that says. So here you go. You've got a lot of references in there. So if you're brand new to radio astronomy, you're going to want to look at this. And there's more of beginner's information under the education movement. And then you have these 6 different sections, each having a coordinator. So here the analytical section, I'm the coordinator for that. The main highlights here is those of you who are online or here yesterday, saw one of the demos, and every year I do a different subject topic. Yesterday's demo, SARA profile observation program, and all the prior years are right here. So you can look at those if you missed any. We had a good question yesterday on pulsar data and the polarization of it and how that is all integrated into the results. And they said there was a way, one of the things that Skynet 20 meter does not do, they don't share the raw data for pulsars. It's just so much of it, but they do for the other types of observations. So if you need to get access to that raw data, it's a little bit time consuming, the work behind it, but it's this link here. Learn how to access 20 meter raw pulsar data, and Skip Creeley had a presentation or an instruction on how that is done. So you want to look at that. That's the raw data. I don't know if it answers the question on whether the raw data can answer how that data is processed, but it is clear. And did I just ruin my link to the SARA website? Let's see. Good. The other thing on the sections, let me see, I think I have some other links here that may be useful. I said yesterday in the demo, if you want to, if you're not a 20 meter user but want to look at the data, it's all publicly available. This link should take you there. Yes. So here you have the 20 meter instructional information. You can search on the logs of 20 meter results going back to 2013. You can search individual projects on scientists or a particular object, has a moon, sun. So there's very useful tools here. So it's always a good link, so useful that I put one up there for the 20 meter, the analytical section site. What else is here that's noteworthy? On the bottom of every SARA section page, There are a few useful links. One of the comments early on was, why doesn't SARA award observing program certificates? Well, we just weren't geared up for that. However, you can get radio observing program awards through other organizations. So most notably the Astronomical League. They have a radio astronomy observing program. That's a good way to learn. I did that program early on. They also now have a citizen science program that you do citizen science, and there's a few citizen science programs related to radio astronomy. You get a certificate that way. If you're not a ham operator, they do have licenses for that, and they do give a lot of radio technology theory, so that's very useful. And there's also of course, SARA and EDX, they have some radio astronomy classes. EDX is 2 now, so those are also all useful certificates. If you have not signed up to use a 20-meter scope and you want to, if you're online, email me. If you're here, pick up a 20-meter registration list. Now this year, we're a little bit doing things a little differently. When you signed up for the conference, in the past, you automatically paid for your SARA membership. This is the first year where both are 2 different links. So if you're not a member of SARA for some reason, you have to be a member of SARA to get access to 20 meter. Just wanted to clarify that, and just in case someone paid to attend the conference but is not a member. If you do sign up, that form just asks some questions. You have to complete that and send it to me, and then I can give you the password. Let's take a look at some of the other sections. There is an outreach section, and the important thing to note here, if you do a lot of outreach, there's some brochures on the bottom. One is for the Super SID, one a general brochure of SARA, and one for grants. Those are very useful to print out and to give to your outreach audience, or let them see those links. The solar system, stellar and galactic cosmology section, what they have on the bottom, an additional link, is something called data template. This was an idea we had early on in SARA. Early on means maybe a few years ago. The idea was, why don't we create a SARA database of observations? That's easier said than done, because there's so many different instruments, so many different frequencies. How do you compile that all? Well, we attempted to do that in the database. So that's there if you want to look at it. We always need more volunteers. So if you can think of a way to put together an observation program, I think there'd be several people here interested.
I'll also comment that if you're here coming up with your own format and the like, you might want to reference this to make sure that you've got at least most of the data there, so we can translate back and forth.
Yeah, I think that's a good start. I mean, people can build on this or reference us. That was our first attempt at a database. Let's see. So that is I covered everything on the section. Let me go back to the ribbons. If you're interested in becoming an officer of SARA or just getting involved in the organization, this is a useful tab. Administrative, if you go to management, not only do you see minutes of prior SARA meetings, some historical stuff, but there are other things in here, instructions on posting on our website, professionalism, a few things that we had put together, board of directors. So keep that in mind if you want to get more involved in SARA. We're always looking for volunteers. I think where we need people most is probably with the conferences area. Volunteers to put together conferences, those are very time consuming. So, and it's a great way to get involved with SARA and meet other members and find out other opportunities here in SARA. Now, Chip knows this. if you press the education button, you're gonna be taken to the home page. So I figured out a workaround this morning. Just want to make sure all the links work. So under the education page, there is a sublink called education links. That is a great tool for beginners. So I had to go back onto Google to find the education links. Here's that. In fact, you can see what was under education. I pressed the education to take me to home page, but that is what's normally under education. Chip will get that corrected as soon as possible. But here are a number of educational links that a beginner and even someone with some experience may find very useful. And resources for beginners, that's what I was looking for. And you can see a variety of things here. Quite a lot. So if you're a beginner, you've got a lot of reading here and keep you busy. So knows that.
In case that scrolled by too quickly, I'll also point out the SARA forum on Groups.io, I believe, has got a lot of people who are very active, very friendly, and come up with all sorts of answers. If you want to get started, they'll help you. You have questions about why is this not working? They will assist. Most of them will assist electronically. There are a few that will even come to you to assist in saying, okay, yeah, you got the connectors on the amplifier backwards. So, little things like that. So there is a huge amount of information as well as people who will help.
It's a great unofficial help desk.
It is a fantastic unofficial help desk.
All right.
I'll say thank you to everyone who contributes to that.
The Radio Joe, there's stuff on that every day. Examples of what people are seeing and what it should look like. It's very active.
Let's go back to now the PowerPoint. I'm not going to go slide by slide because you can read that, but I will point out a couple things. Let's see.
There we go.
Four. I want to go. Listserv.
Yep.
Yep. That actually. Yeah, a lot of emails. Sometimes you have to take your name off of that just for email management if you're getting a lot of emails from all sorts of organizations.
There are ways to manage the
I think
volume somewhat.
you mentioned that to me, so.
You can get daily summaries or, just look at it online only when you have time.
Okay. So if someone thinking they're getting too much email, but they don't want to disconnect, do they just ask you about that, Ed?
No, it is your
It is
own
on
user
there.
settings for that group.
User settings, okay.
Yeah.
That is good information. So volunteering, there's always a lot of things to do at SARA. I wanted to know that we also have a SARA YouTube page, and it is growing quite rapidly. For the longest time, no one ever came close to beating John Wallace's microwave antenna demonstration. And in the past year, congratulations, Ed, you're in the front. Over 13,000, that's amazing. We have 600 members, so all these thousands of hits say that a lot of people are looking at the SARA YouTube site. That's quite amazing. And congratulations to all the other names on that list. There's many more there too. Go down a few more. Some of those citizen science programs are listed here. Some may be expired, last forever, but they are here. You have to search for them. SARA YouTube also has a number of observational parties, the Drake's Lounge Australia. So there's almost something every week to keep you entertained and educated. On the bottom below, I like referencing what Dr. Van Ryker does. He was our 2013 keynote speaker on the 20 meter. He's from the University of North Carolina. He actually runs the overall Skynet program. And he does a lot with the 20 meter. He's got a number of professional papers, searchable on the internet, just do Google Dan Reichard 20 meter. In some of my PowerPoints, I actually reference, his papers, that are on the analytical page of PowerPoints. But he really shows what great science and observation that you can take from the SARA, the 20 meter raw data, clean it up, it's special algorithms. He has a team of graduate students that just great work and taking what you might typically have as an observation on the 20 meter and just making it outstanding as far as paper presentations and professional output. So have a look at, I say now he has a YouTube page, so he does have some information here that you can look at, but also find his papers. You'll be quite amazed at what the 20 meter can do in professional things. Scope in a box, we have in our SARA story in one of the tabs. That's quite popular. I've got this paragraph here for the last few years about a $3 million grant to expand the 20 meter Skynet radio telescope to include several other locations. I don't have an update on that, but as you probably know from the news, there's been a lot of federal budget cuts in the last few months, and the National Science Foundation is getting cuts too. So I don't, just with that, I'm not sure what the status. I would think there's some uncertainty around this. So we've got to hope for the best there. And the 20 meter gets grants from NSF, so we've got to hope for the best on that as well. And I think I have everything that I wanted to say here. And that's my contact information. See if I missed anything else on my list of topics to bring up. I think I got everything. And then for those of you in the audience, if you do want to register for 20 meter and you are SARA members, a CV for that, provide that back to me. And if we have a few minutes for any questions, anybody has on the section, or there's a lot of people involved in the SARA website. So I think within this room, we can probably answer anything about the SARA website. Anybody online and here? If not, a few extra minutes I can provide to the next speaker.
Any questions, thoughts? Any folks online, any questions?
This is Deanna. I have a question.
Go ahead.
There was a mention of a list for sign up for contact information. How do we do that online?
You need my contact information right up there. That's me.
No, I mean sharing. You said, I think you said earlier about sharing your information with everybody at the meeting.
Put it in the chat.
Yeah, can you just write your email in the chat, and then I can go back and grab that either from somebody or I'll get it off the recording.
Okay, thank you.